How you doing, good people? It's Larry Jones. Welcome to Stock Up. Hey, you already know, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and make sure you hit all. Today's merch is the million dollar cup of coffee. And for those of you that's doing the $5 a day challenge, just go ahead and purchase that. And it's a constant reminder that you're building generational wealth. Just check the links out and you can order that. Also, too, Webull has you can open a Webull account now with just $5. Okay, they have fractional shares. You can trade pre and post hours. Okay, the links are below. We'll talk about that a little later. Let's get right into what I see is going on with the market. Now, I did not pull any strings with the thumbnails. It is what it is. I got some notes here that I wanted to discuss, build my case, and then I'm going to tell you what I think and what I'm going to be doing. Okay. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is not financial advice, but I'm telling you what Larry's doing. All right. So we have a supply demand issue, which is adding to inflation. Also, rates will eventually rise, which will affect the bond market. Okay, so everything is kind of intertwined, right? We got millions of jobs that are not filled. So people need workers and they can't get workers. And it's a multitude of problems, all right? It's just not lazy people. A lot of those, especially in the food industry, have went to better paying jobs. You know, they can go to McDonald's and make $12, $15 an hour, or Target, rather than making $3 plus tips. So there's been a lot of rotation going on, and you got the population that are just not going to work because they're making more on unemployment. These are real issues, and it's all of the above, okay? You got the housing bubble, which is a big bubble that will eventually burst, and that's going to cause problems all the way around. There is no way for the housing bubble to burst and it not pull the stock market down. It's impossible. It will happen. All right. Now, as we see day to day, we got low volume in stock. Why is it low volume? People are scared. They're trying to see, I don't really trust the stock market. Remember, it's like the drunk uncle at the table. You know, you saw him take a few squigs off of his liquor. Now you don't know where he's coming from. And so that's why there's low volume in the stock market right now. People are uncertain what's going to happen with their money. All right. And to be honest with you, I'm concerned, right? Good news is the Feds think that the Delta variant is transitory. That is actually going to have a little effect on our economy. All right. And that's what he thinks. And I will tell you that I think it's not going to be as bad as last time. Here's my biggest concerns, right? Tesla had a great earnings report, right? Just killed it. You know, more than $1 billion revenue, right? What happens to it? Drops 2%. You know, counting after hours, drops over 2%. Should have knocked the ball. They knocked the ball out of the park, and it's like the crowd just went, seen that before, right? Apple, same thing, demolishes their earnings. According to CNBC, read the headline. Apple demolishes their earnings. What happens? Drops a point and a half and another 2% after hours. Microsoft, same thing. Google, same thing. So some people may say, hey, but these are all big techs. Just tech is getting it, and that's just to be expected. And then there's going to be rotation, right? And I do believe people are rotating in a different stock. These companies are knocking it all out of the park. I saw Facebook earlier. I don't know where it is now, but it was like, And so all of these big tech companies are having these phenomenal earnings reports. And like, there's nothing more that they could do. And, you know, Tesla, even with the chips shortage, I mean, what more could they do? Apple with a chip shortage that affects Apple. What more could they do? What more could they have done to have a better earnings report? So these companies, these CEOs and all of this, they are doing phenomenal jobs. And the stock market is like, So I will be honest with you. I will look you in the face and tell you that that concerns me. And what it says to me is that we're near the top. And there's a cycle in stocks. And regardless of when and where you get in, you're somewhere in the cycle. All right. I'm going to use these terminologies in a way so that the newer people will understand it. So those of you that, are just, oh, this means exactly this, take a chill pill, because we have to get this message. I have to get this message out because I feel like this is the only way for me to be transparent. All right, good people. So here's the cycle. Boom, bubble, bounce, or bull, bubble, bounce. Or I would just say boom, bubble, bounce. So we're in a cycle. Boom, bubble, bounce, boom, bubble, bounce, boom, bubble, bounce. And it doesn't matter when you first get in the stock market, you're in one of these cycles, and these cycles happens all of the time, right? So we know that crashes happens anywhere in the area of 10 to 12 years. Every 10 to 12 years, there's a crash that happens, right? For one reason or another, there's something. So it's not like clockwork, 10 years now, it's time for a crash, but about 10 to 12 years, there's something crash or crash worthy that happens, and the market reacts negatively, okay? So in the boom, we had a boom in 2020, especially the second half of 2020. It was a bull market. That's a boom. So it's going up, right? And then there's a bubble. The bubble is when things are priced too high. It's too expensive, right? And that's where I believe we are. And then there's a bounce. So it's going to bounce off of there and it's going to come right back, I don't want to say crashing, falling back down. And regardless of where you start to invest, you're in this cycle. And you say, oh, well, then it doesn't even make sense to invest at all for some of you that are new. That's not true, because you can make money in every cycle if you know what you're doing, and if you have a balanced portfolio and you know when and how to rotate from stock to stock. Right? Just think of it as baseball. You got to know when to run the first base, second base, third base, and you bring it home every year. Right? And so for those of you that have high growth, long-term stock, this cycle doesn't really affect you, because you're buying stock that you think you're getting it at a price that you're going to have growth over the next 5, 10, 20 years. So the cycles really doesn't bother you, because you know that in 10 to 20 years from now, that stock is going to be worth a lot more. A lot of these stock now, they're just too expensive, right? And so do I think a crash is coming? I'll be honest with you. I think that the Feds are doing enough. Some people think the Feds are not doing enough. Some people think the Feds are doing too much. Now, I think the Feds are printing too much money. Right? There's other things that the Feds can be doing. But I also think that the Feds are trying to shore up the market to where we don't have a crash, more like a correction. So I think that there's some sort of correction coming. And so that's what I truly think. Now, remember, this is not fear mongering. I have to put this out there. I don't care if I take the flack from some haters. Oh, you crazy. It's going to be a bull market to the moon. I have to be honest with you guys and be transparent. This is what being transparent is about. For every dollar you invest, save 2. And just save it and don't buy anything. So there's a lot of you guys, I was saying, hey, you might want to look at doing some profit taking. When you do profit taking, don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket that you just have to have it all in the market, because I think we're in the bubble. So I'm not going to have all my cash in. Now, I know that there's other YouTubers out there that's saying, this is nothing, blah, blah, blah. I disagree with some of them, but the ones that are dollar cost averaging in, that works, because you're buying up here, you're buying in the middle, and you're buying at the bottom. That's the only way to make sure over a long period of time you're getting the best price you can. So that's different when they're dollar cost averaging in. But I have to be real. I think we are in a bubble. you keep having these earnings reports. They're knocking them out. They're blowing it out of the water. And the stock actually still goes down. And to me, that's enough sign that we're in a bubble. So I shared with you guys over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago was that, that I did a lot of profit taking. Having cash in your portfolios, not in your bank, where you got to drag it over and you got to wait for days to clear. I have it available and ready, because I'm going to end with this. Just think, and I keep saying this because I want you guys, when in doubt, zoom out back to 2020 at the March lows. If you would have had a ton of cash to buy those stock at that price. And for those of you that don't like looking at your portfolios every day, what is the best thing you could do? Buy your stock as low as possible. That way, when it goes up and there's a volatile market, you don't have to really worry, because you bought it down here, it's up here, and it's volatile up here. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is get a better buy-in price for all of my stock. And I suggest to you guys to take a ledger or use your phone or whatever, write down every stock you want to own. If you think it's a great company, do your research, and you think it's going to have great growth, but might get pulled down off of a correction or the other C word, I'm not even going to mention that. And then be brave when others are fearful. When others are panic selling at the bottom, I want you guys to be cashed up to go in. I'm at the point where I have enough cash. I'm not worried now that if the market has a correction or the other C word, I'm not worried. As a matter of fact, when it does happen, a correction is inevitable. Remember, boom, bubble, bounce, right? So I believe we're in a bubble. So when it bounces and falls back down, I want to swoop in and I want to buy. Fire sale, fire sale. And I want to tell you guys this. I'm not buying the first dips either. I'm not buying dips like I told you guys. There are certain things that I did swing plays on. I bought the dip and I sold it. But I'm waiting on a big pullback. And so I'm cashed up. And so I'm only going to be swing trading with a third of my money. And the other 2/3, I'm cashed up. All right. You can let me know what you think. Let's keep our discussion respectful. Okay, good people. And this is what this is for. This is for these discussion purposes only. I would rather put my neck on the line and say this now and have a few people be angry at me because, oh, Larry said that it might be a crash. I would rather say this now than to not say anything when I could have saved a lot of people a lot of money. Okay, that's what I see. No one knows when a crash is coming. No one knows when a correction is coming. No one knows. If you have a child, a very, a baby, 1, 2, 3 years old, open up a custodial account and do that as a parent in a portfolio that you can understand. For those of you that's been trading for a while, make it TD Ameritrade, Schwab, Fidelity, the legacy brokerages. But I'm going to say this, and here, listen to this. I have daughters, right? If you have daughters, nephews, sons that are teenagers, open them up a Webull account. It only costs $5. Now, they're only running this for a limited time. I don't know when that ends. It's $5. It's a cup of coffee, good people. Open yourself and open up your nieces, nephews, kids, a Webull account right now and just start cashing up. Because even if you don't understand it, and I have a video on how to use the Webull app, your teenagers, they get it. Just like when iPads first came out and we couldn't understand it, and you give it to your kids and they go, oh, it goes like this. I'm telling you guys, you're underestimating the brilliance of these kids. So open them up an account and show them how to use it now. All right? Because when a correction or a crash does happen and you've been saving 2/3 of your money and you got all of this cash, you're setting yourself up for generational wealth. All right. The link is provided below. Click the link. And then if you want to know how to use it, just go to my search bar and type in Larry Jones, how to use the Webull app. And you're going to see a video that comes up. I'll leave the video right here at the end because this is important for us to be ready to gain generational wealth. All right. We're going to leave it right there, good people. Let me know what you know. Respectfully, let me know what you think about the market. Okay. Live, love, laugh, and let's learn.